Okay, good morning, you all, and welcome to life. Our houses and our homes, especially right now, are a huge part of our life and our existence. And sometimes you need something new to look at, I think, and something to spice up your surroundings and something to do. And Cindy Hoffart-Watson has offered her magical wreath making skills to us this morning. I duly admire anybody who has craft skills. I once tried to make a wreath, to which I was told it was the ugliest thing since sin. So, given my lack of craft ability, I've asked Cindy to come in and actually give us an awesome demo on how to make this, because as you can see on the door behind her in her house, she makes really beautiful things. So, Cindy, if you would, please.
Okay. Well, I work in the library as a reference assistant. Been there for a little over 13 years. So I love to make wreaths. I make them for my family. I make them for my friends, because once I learned the little tricks, it was so much fun. So I made the wreath and we did a recording of it, because it takes a few hours to actually make a wreath. It takes about 3 or 4 hours if you're making a large wreath. I mentioned in the video that I get a lot of my supplies from Trendy Tree, and I gave Rachel a handout, and in the handout you'll be able to reference, it gives you exact directions to what I'm doing in the video, so you'll have that to help you remember how to cut, how long to cut ribbon or whatever, and a supply list. So I think if we start the video, if you have questions, just put them in the chat. And this is the handout. So it goes through every step that I did to make the wreath. It takes you through it, and then down at the bottom it says what you need. And I listed from Trendy Tree. It cost about $50 to make this wreath that I made. I did buy the scarecrow at Hobby Lobby. That was the only thing. And the foliage from Hobby Lobby. So if we'll get started with the video, and then after that, I'll answer your questions.
Okay. I wanted to show you guys what that handout looks like. It is up on the Life webpage, so you all can access that, and I'll send it out with the email afterwards as well, because I know having the right supplies makes a lot of difference in what you're able to create. So if you all will bear with me for a second, I will see if I can get us going on that beautiful recording, and hopefully my internet will behave itself. Okay. Oh, wait, it didn't do the thing. Sorry. Technical difficulties. We may have to sort a few of these out in a minute. There we go. Sorry, I want you to be able to hear the directions, and I realized, oh, wait. That's the wrong setting for this. We live in an era of wonderful modern technology, so got a lot to learn. Okay.
Hi, I'm Cindy Hoffart-Watson, and I work at the Harris County Public Library in Lone Star College site here in Brant. And today I'm going to show you how to take this and turn it into this. So keep watching. I'm going to show you a few things that you're going to need, and just a little reminder that don't panic. You don't have to write things down. Have a my dining room table. If you make sure whatever you're working on, cover it. Now I use a cutting board mat. You don't need to use a cutting board mat. If you have one, great. You sew out there, you probably have one. You just need a ruler. You can do it without the mat, just a ruler. You need pliers. Pliers that aren't huge, so about that size. Scissors, glue sticks, and the very important zip ties. Now I buy them at the hardware store. They're actually cheaper at the hardware store. So try to get your zip tie. Make sure you get white. Make sure you get green if you're doing something for the holidays. Then you'll need the mesh to make the mesh wreath. It takes about a roll and a half, so unfortunately you end up with extra, but it does take that much to make the wreath. You'll need at least 2 styles of ribbon, whatever you choose for your holiday. At Trendy.
Okay, pause for a second. Is everybody seeing the video?
Partly I am.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna see if making it smaller will help with this. Are you guys getting a better perspective view now?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're gonna have to go with the smaller version. I am sorry. I am doing the best that I can with the internet that I have. So, this video is actually posted to our live webpage as well. If you want to go back and watch it at some point, we do have it on our YouTube. So you should have access to it in lots.
Ribbon, right? The making with is a burlap foil mesh, and they have, it depends on what you want to do with your wreath. If you want to hang it outside, then your mesh needs to be a little bit sturdier with a different type of mesh. So, but on trendytree.com, they have over 1,000 colors and types of mesh. So to that site, I encourage it. You'll need just some little fall sprigs I picked up. I picked up a little scarecrow, and then just some extra loose leaves that we'll add in, maybe a flower. So let's get started. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to use the burlap foil mesh. I've already, to save time, I've already cut just about all we need. I wanted to show you real quick what I do. Let's say you just have your ruler. You're going to cut your mesh strips 10 inches long. So you just lay it down, put something heavy on there that I don't have. And cut. And if I were using the mat, I would do the same thing, but you get this. So you're cutting 10-inch strips. We'll probably have to cut some more, but I'm going to get started. What you'll do, I've started the wreath for you. It's a 24-inch pencil wreath, and it has little, it has 8 of them there. Out, you can see I started this to save some time. The fact is, you take 3 pieces The way to just let it fall the way it's going to fall. So lay it down. And squish it. If you can't squish it with one hand, that's fine. And you get this little wreath. Don't worry about loose because it's burlap. Just let that be for now. Then you get another. Now, some of us have arthritis in our hands. And if you have arthritis and you know you're going to have some difficulty doing this, you can take a clothespin. You can hold it together while you make the other. It's what you can do to make it easy and fun for you. Once you make the second, you take it, you lay it crossways. You can put your clothespin back on if you need to. And then you take the third one, stretch it up, and now you put it with the other two. Once you have 3 pieces of mesh, you'll start at the bottom and you'll unfurl pipe cleaners. Take your ruffles and push them all the way down to the bottom of the twist. Once you get to the bottom of the twist, twist it 2 times. Don't go crazy quit twisting because when you put your ribbon in, you'll need to untwist. So just twist enough where it's secure. Now we're going to zoom it through while I make the rest of the ruffles, and I'll be able to show you the other steps. I selected 2 different ribbons. I also purchased these from Trinity Tree. You can look at Hobby Lobby, but Trinity Tree does have better. I've cut some of what we need. You need 1 piece of ribbon, 18 pieces, since you have 18 twist ties. So you need to cut. I've cut most of them, but I wanted to show you. I cut the ribbon 13 inches, and this ruler is 12 inches. So I'm going to use my cutting board. But the reason I'm going to cut 13 inches is the ribbon will stand out a little bit better than the normal. You would normally cut 12 inch ribbon, but for our go, we're going to do 13, so it's a little bit more prominent. So let's cut. And then I'll show you a little trick. For this project, you'll always need wire ribbon. And the wire ribbon is, here's the ribbon, here's the wire. It makes it sturdy, makes it puff up, makes good bows, stands out good. So make sure that you always get wired ribbon. Now, I like to do this just to give it a finished look, to cut the ends, little fishtail. And here's the trick for that. Fold it good side to good side. Corner it away from yourself. Snip, and magic has happened. You have both sides and their fishtail. You don't have to do that, but it does give it a little bit more finished look. And you can see here, this is off a little bit, so I'm going to cut that. There you go. And I think I need 3 more pieces of this. And with ribbon, you can go polka dots with stripes looks good. There's some real pretty fall ribbons out there. So don't feel like you have to stay with, if you don't like pumpkins, then you could do polka dots and stripes. You cut these. Do the same thing with the small piece. Cut it. Don't work. Okay. We're about to get to the fun part. You can even, some add 3 ribbons. The reason I didn't add 3 ribbons, but you can add it, and it does look very pretty when you do 3 ribbons. I'm using a big scarecrow with some other big pieces, and I felt like it would just be too much to have 3 different types of ribbon. Okay, as you can see, I've started putting the pieces of ribbon already on this side. So I'm going to go to the next twist. We're going to pick up one. The largest will always go on the bottom. Put them together. Really pretty easy. Then down here, and I don't see my, oh, if you have trouble holding it, you could always clip it and lay it down. Find the twist that does the next twist that needs the ribbon. Take your ribbon, push it all the way down into your mesh. And this time, twist it very tight. You're not going to open it again. And you can spread the ribbon out and kind of, you'll have plenty of time to play with this after you get your foliage and your other pieces. See, I have these wires right here. I'm not going to cut them now. I'll come back, but don't worry about that type of stuff. It really gets covered up. Okay, so we go to the next one. Pinch it in the middle. And as you notice, I'm working from the bottom up. Put this all the way down inside. Twist. And fold your twist down. Fluff your ribbon a little bit. Pull it apart. So they're kind of separate. Do it again. got our ribbons on. Don't worry about them being just perfect because you're going to be messing with it. So we'll come back and make that pretty. Here's the scarecrow, and I'm going to place him kind of sitting inside the wreath. What I'll use is zip ties. And because he's a little large, his head, and I'm going to have to go deep into the wreath, I've taken 2 zip ties and put them together. So now I have a long one. The collar. This part's a little tricky because you're holding the back of the wreath. And as many times as I've done it, I always still have trouble just because you're reaching around. If you're new to this, you could get someone to help you until you're more comfortable with it. I promise you it's going to go on there. I got it. Okay. Pull it tight. We're not choking him. We just want him to be secure. We don't want to have to put him someplace else. So once you have him there, you can decide a couple of things at this point. You can decide, do you want him over? Do you want him straight up? Because that'll determine the place for your foliage. And I think we're going to go with about this. His legs, we're going to glue those in a little bit. But if you can see that. Okay. I selected some fall foliage, and again I'm going to use the zip tie, and I intend to use both of them, but we're going to put one up high, and here again we're using the zip tie. When you're finished making it, you can turn it around, snip all your zip tie strings that are hanging. So just pull it tight on the wire of the wreath. And sometimes you have to put 2. In this case, because it's so heavy, the foliage is so heavy, it'll need 2 zip ties. Okay. It's got a blank spot right there, but that's okay. I'm going to cut these now because they're going to be in my way when I go to put the other piece on. glue them on, but I have found if you're gonna hang it on your door or something like that, so we're gonna do this one something like that. Glue, hot glue is just not gonna work. I'll hot glue a couple of leaves when we're finishing up, but overall I try to use zip ties. Be patient, even I struggle. Okay, got it. Now you can kind of look. You see. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Hang like that. All right, I think I'm gonna put flower there. Okay. Now, I've pulled the zip tie on this big sunflower, but I see I may need a little bit of glue. Let's see how it goes. And at this point, you can stop if you want to, or if you want to add a little more, you can put this straight down. Okay, so we've got the scarecrow on, and we have the foliage on this side. I made a bow. There are hundreds of ways to make bows. I made this just like a 5-loop simple bow to put over to the side. You can go to Trendy Tree on YouTube, and they give great examples of how to make all different kinds of bows. So you make your bow according to what you want your wreath to look like. I'm going to put it down here. And see, I've messed up the ribbon. We've got strings, but we'll be able to fix all that. Like I said, the hardest part of the wreath is always putting on the items. That's the tricky part. But once you zip tie them on there, they're not going to come off. Okay, now I'm going to kind of step back and look at it. This is where you can start pulling out your ribbon. Separate it out for here. Just you pull them apart. They're secure in there. They're not going to come loose. So just you can pull on them if you need to. If you see some pieces that are bothering you, this is where you can kind of trim some off. Some of the pieces look like they're not rolling. Okay, now I'm going to do just a couple of things. I'm going to put some on his bottom leg and put his top leg over it. So his legs are crossed. Just helps it stay. And I don't like the way this flower's staying in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some glue on the flower stem. Just to help it a little bit. Because it's a little wobbly. Let me hold it for a second. Okay, a little better. And then we can add some leaves. You can just kind of put those wherever you want them. And you can go in and put a little glue on them. These are all kind of bent up. I'm going to put some glue on that stem because it's small. Just to help hold it in place. You can just, at this point, it's whatever you want. If you want to keep adding, or if you wanted to add something there, right over him, you can kind of look and see how you like it. If you want something over here, I think we're going to go with that over there. I'm going to put some glue in there. Just because. You can take your bow. It's zip tied. It's not going to go anywhere. You can kind of pull on it, pull the ribbons. This ribbon is backwards, so we'll turn this around. And bow is gonna glue some leaves in. And I might add, just play around with it before you glue it. I think I'm gonna go with that. So, take my little trusty glue gun. And you're really kind of just gluing your leaf to your bow, which is okay. If it were Christmas, I would probably make a big bow. But with all the other stuff we have going on over here and him being so large, I decided not to. But so you don't have to use a bow at all if you don't want to. If you are afraid of making a bow, which there's so many ways to do it. I'm gonna take another look. I think we got it. And there you go. You can keep on adding all the way around if you want to. Some people want every inch covered. You can do that. Or you can just leave it on one side. I don't think. Someone once told me when they were showing me how to make wreaths, know when to stop. If you have a piece and you keep trying everywhere to put it and it won't work, that means you're done. So I've always tried to remember that. So this is our fall wreath. Happy fall.
Well, I hope, can you all hear me? Okay. I hope that kind of gave you some insight into how to make the wreath. And like I said, in the handout are step-by-step directions on how to do it. And let's see, I'm going to look at some of the questions. Yeah, you can do the same thing for garland, and it looks really pretty. The place where I buy the work wreath and the ribbon was from Trendy Tree, and that's on the handout as well. Trendy Tree is the only place where I've been able to find the work wreath that has the Chanel 18 pieces of Chanel wrapped around it. You can make your own, but then you have to do a lot of measuring and everything, and to buy it, it's like $5. So I usually just buy the work wreath, and I've been buying all my mesh from them, and they do have over 1,000 kinds, and for inside, outside, just all kinds of colors and styles. So you'll enjoy going to that site, and they do have pretty good prices on their ribbon, except if you go to Hobby Lobby, there's probably a sale on ribbon. So, and Michael's actually has a good selection of ribbon. So I think that's it, unless anyone had any more questions about how I did something.
I actually did have a question for you, Cindy. Which type of hot glue gun are you using? And those orange handled scissor thingies?
Yeah,
What are those, and how do I get them?
Okay, so the little orange that you saw, they're just a small pair of pliers. They're small. You can get it in the hardware store, and it cuts even the flower stems. So you can get those at the hardware store, and get the smallest one they have. They have them in all different sizes, but get the small one. And what was your other question?
What type of hot glue gun do you have?
I use, and my fingers show it. I use a regular hot glue gun that's hot. I know that some people are in favor of the cooler glue gun. It works. The cooler one works. To me, I'm trying to go fast, so I like the high temp glue gun.
Okay.
It is really easy to make. The scrunching up of the mesh, it just takes some time, but you can't, when you have it all together, any mistakes or things, you can't see them. Because when you're working with the wreath, the mesh will inevitably be, because you're handling it, you're going to get some strings hanging. And so I usually just kind of snip those away. Anything else?
Okay, so
we inspired you.
We do have some wonderful compliments here, perfect for this time of year. Really enjoying this. You could do garland. Please provide your source of ribbon, which we talked about that. I love the scarecrow added to the wreath. Such a cute touch.
Yeah.
I think you filled the whole wreath. It's beautiful, very pretty. I'm already scoping out Trendy Tree.
Yeah.
There seems to be a communal agreement on scoping out Trendy Tree, which I agree with too. Hobby Lobby has ribbon on sale every other week. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to try to make my own wreath this year. It looks awesome, Cindy. And Bronwyn says she is looking at Trendy Tree. I believe that's what she's talking about right now. I really appreciate you coming in and doing this for us and showing us how to make some beautiful fall wreath. Yes, some beautiful fall wreath craft. And how exactly the art of crafting a wreath is done, because I've seen a lot of, Pinterest and tutorials and things, but you would explain so beautifully, and Mel Watchman, who is our assistant director, did a lot of the behind the scenes videography, I believe.
Yes,
So,
she did.
huge thank you to both of you for making such a fantastic thing for life and for being willing to try out something new. I do
And
appreciate.
if you're working on a wreath and you get stuck, you can always Slack me or call me, and I can, we can do a WebEx, and I can show you, oh no, do it like this, so
Yeah,
so I can help out. So,
you've gotten a thank you, Cindy, from Missy, and I agree with that statement very much. We appreciate so much you coming and giving us something to spice up our doors and our quarantined lives right now with some new crafting. I apologize for any technical difficulties we may have had. So we are working on those. Many more thank yous have happened, and if you would like to view this video again, or just the whole thing with the Q&A, or the supplies list, we do have those on the Life page. All you need to do is go through the Lone Star Sci-Fair page, adults, and then in our program section, there's one for Life, and we should be right there. Thank you so much, Cindy, and to Melanie as well. And next week, we are going to have in Professor Michelle Brown, who's one of our Lone Star English professors, who's going to give us a workshop on writing creatively and expressing ourselves. So thank you so much for joining us.
thank you, Rachel.
Do we have any further questions? Okie doke.
Okay,
I really appreciate you guys, and thanks so much.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome. I think it went well. Bye-bye.